Hello, children. Today we are going to begin with a poem from English Book Class 12th CBSE syllabus. The book Flamingo and the poem An Elementary Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. Before we begin, I would like you to look at these pictures. Try to think of some of the words that come to your mind while looking at these pictures. Now I would like you to write some words related to life in slum for children. The words could be miserable, poverty, diseased, unhygienic conditions, crammed houses, burdened lives, places where there are no basic amenities, and so on and so forth. Now, these are the words related to elementary school classroom in slum. Dull, uninspiring lessons, no motivation, lack of concern of authorities, the classrooms which run on donations, the lives further are dark. The poet Stephen Spender, his writings mainly have the themes as social injustice, class inequalities, empathy for the downtrodden, and this is what is depicted in this poem also. Please have a look at some of the difficult words with their meanings. Gusty, pallor, weighed down, paper seeming, stunted, air, twisted, gnarled, cramped, slag, heap, peeped through, mended, doom, catacombs. Let's begin with the poem. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn around the pallor, the tall girl with a weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease. His lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room. Other than this, the poet says that the condition of the children in a slum school is pathetic. The world is far away from the open, healthy environment. They are as unwanted as the rootless weeds. Hair unkempt, pale faces, which show deprived and undernourished condition. These children, as the tall girl, are burdened by the responsibilities of lives. They are exhausted both physically as well as emotionally. The paper-thin boy is skinny. His eyes have a scared look. These children who are unfortunate have inherited only disease and bad luck from their parents. One of the diseased ones can't even get up from the desk to recite his lesson. However, there is one child at the back of the class who is younger than the others. His inexperienced eyes are full of hope, and probably he is dreaming of playing games in the open. Apparently, gloom has still not enveloped him. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities. Belled, flowery Triller's Valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of birds. The classroom walls have a dirty appearance as if not been painted for a long time. We must say that these children inhabit a world which is dreary and depressing. On the walls are displayed the names of people who've given donations. There is the bust of Shakespeare with the background of a clear sky at the time of sunrise. The walls also have beautiful pictures of Triller's Valley, with flowers presenting a world of heavenly splendor. Apart from these, the walls also have a map which reveals the world which they view from the classroom's window that's actually foggy with harsh realities. It represents a dark and bleak future with no hope for their future lives. Their eyes can only view a narrow road which is enclosed with a dull sky. The poet suggests that these children are trapped in a hopeless situation and their reality is far removed from the literary world which glistens with the beauty of nature, such as the rivers and the high land. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, and the map a bad example, with ships and sun in love tempting them to steal. The poet suddenly feels agitated and feels that Shakespeare is wicked. Why? Because his plays mislead the children, as these children are not able to relate to the lives which Shakespeare depicts in his plays. Shakespeare shows them a beautiful world of ships, sun, and love, which is not only unreal for them, but then it has a corrupting influence on these children. It instigates them to steal and try to escape from their cramped holes. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. The poet says that their existence is indeed very sad. These children are so thin that it appears that they're wearing skins. The spectacles they're wearing have glass which has been broken and mended. Their entire appearance reeks of the air deprivation. The poet shows his outrage by suggesting that the maps on these walls should show huge slums instead of beautiful scenic graphics, because this is what they see in the classroom. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night, unless governor, teacher, inspector, this map becomes their world, window, and these children, these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs, break open till they break the town and show the children green fields and make the world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. History is theirs, whose language is the sun. The poet appeals to the governor and inspectors and visitors to do something to improve their condition. If the authorities intervene, this map showing the beautiful world outside can become their reality too. The poet hopes that the authorities would realize their moral responsibilities and free these children from their grave like entrapments. The poet wants all the barriers to be pulled down, barriers that keep away true education from them. He says that children must be given freedom to experience the wholesome bounties of nature, view the green fields and run on gold sand. Let them read books and let them breathe in fresh air. Let them discover themselves and be creative so that their names can also enter the books of history. Let them find their place in the sun. It's the theme of the poem. It deals with social injustice as we discussed earlier. The poet describes the plight of the slum children. They're destined to be poor as there's no escape from it. It distinguishes the elite from the poor. The poem also discusses about the negligence of the government, the authorities towards the poor, and The most important thing about education, he points out, that fruits of education and freedom should reach the under. Have a look at figures of speech. So, can you identify a clear rhyme scheme? If not, what is this kind of verse called? It's a free verse. So, these are similes. Children's faces like rootless weeds, and boy with rat's eyes. This is a metaphor. The paper seeming boy. So, these are some questions from lines 13 to 16. What does the color of classroom wall denote? How do the various donations adorning the wall do more damage than good? Why is the map being called open handed? Try to answer these questions. Then, what do these windows and this map represent? What kind of future has the poet envisaged for these children? And what do the narrow streets and lit sky denote? Explain star of words. I hope the lesson was explanatory and you'll be able to do it further. Thank you and all the best.